Hey everyone, how's it going? I am Colleen Fletcher and I'm just doing my normal kind of check in to see if things are going. But as I've already said in the past, I don't know if I could fix it anyway. So I'm trying, but most times I just kind of wing it, which is just kind of who I can be as well, even though I absolutely love talking with you about organic skincare, care, body, mind, spirit well being. So it looks like all's up and going. So I'm going to start. Hi, how are you? I'm Colleen Fletcher, and I know that you have the keys to change your world, the world of your families, and the world that we all share. And I'm all about doing that in an organic, using very limited chemicals way while supporting you on your body, mind, spirit pathway. And that's what I want to share with you today. So thank you for being here with me. Now, how in the world did I get on this pathway? And today we're going to address a little bit more of uh, the organic pathway of why I got onto that. So in 1995, I got my massage license in Oregon in the US. I know that there's a lot of other people out here than just people right around in my sphere. So I am American. Um, and so how did I get on this pathway? It was when I think I was about 6 months into starting this awesome new career, and I was working with people all the time. And what happened is on my hands and all in my fingers, I started getting really, really bad rashes. And I narrowed it down. It was the oils and the lotions that I was using at the time. And the moment that, let's say I had a long weekend or something where I didn't see clients, my skin would clear up. So it was pretty easy for me to pinpoint where it came from. Well, I couldn't work with, you know, really open sores all over my hands all the time. So I had to do something and do something quickly. So I did some research and I found one company that was out there that their products were clean. Um, that's kind of a part of it, and I'm going to address this in a little bit. That they were as clean as you could get at the time. How's that? Uh, so I started using those, and that made a really, really big difference for my hands. So at least then I could get back to work. With that company throughout the years, they've sold and it has shifted, and they've kind of every once in a while I look at them and I found that there's a few more chemicals in the products, which I understand why there are chemicals in the products. I do totally get that. We don't want mold growing on our skincare or anything like that, right? So that's important. Um, in Oregon at the time, I also found one other company that was a skincare line, and I was happy to be the forerunner. I think I was the first one in the Pacific Northwest to carry that line, and that company has now again shifted. It's been so many years, but it has shifted. And that one is still around. I don't work with them anymore. Um, but it was a difficult thing to do, to really find products that were clean and that had the sustainability that I was looking for as well, especially since I was using them in a professional setting. So that's how it got me started. Really, having gross hands and not being able to work, or having my skin be so damaged really from the products that I was using all the time that it caused me to not be able to work. So that's really where it started. Just from out of necessity, I had to do that. Now, the little bit of intrigue and scandal here is that the industry has shifted so much with it. And going from not having many products at all within this country to use, that made it difficult. It also, what has happened now since then, it has turned it from a multi-million dollar company into a multi-billion dollar company or industry. It is just a massive, massive industry now, which also can have a little bit of a drawback to it as well. Now we have terms like greenwashing and just a little bit of knowledge base for you. Greenwashing really is when you take one naturally derived molecule and everything else around, or ingredient, that might be an easier way to talk about it as well. One really good ingredient and the rest of the ingredients around it are just not as clean. So that's one of the things that has come about, is that term. And my outlook with it is, yes, we do need to have those preservatives. I get it, but there are ways to get preservatives that don't have to be as detrimental to our health nor to the environment of when they can be produced and how they're produced as well. So that's my thing with it. Um, let's take also juice boxes, kids' juice boxes. A lot of times, those are things that say they're natural. Well, if you really do a deep dive into what those ingredients are, there's one chemical or one molecule or one part of it that is natural, but then it can be filled with sugar and water around it. So that just comes down to marketing, which leads me into the next thing. The term organic as well is a marketing term. These things, they shift yearly. They just have this life of their own of what all of this stuff is. And from how I understand it, organics is a chemistry term for something that is carbon based. Okay, so everything really is carbon based, right? I don't think we've found anything in our world yet that's not totally carbon based. Uh, so those are the main things to kind of look at with this, and the research that I have found throughout the years for me with working with these ingredients, as well as the marketing, the multi-billion dollar just rolling forward of what all of this is. So what do I encourage you to do with this knowledge? Take a step back, slow down. Don't believe all the labels that you read. Trust where you get your sources from. Um, that's a huge one. Learn how to read labels. Whoa, that's huge. That's massive. And that's even difficult on me to do because things change all the time. They'll just change the names of ingredients and kind of shift it around a little bit. And it's rough. I'm not telling you that learning this stuff is an easy process. What I'm really giving you is the background with it, my background with it, what I have been doing with this knowledge for years and years and years, and really helping so that you are far more educated as well. And throughout the years, thank you for everyone that has supported me with the products that I carry. That's a huge, huge part of all of this. Thank you for your trust in me to get you the products that work so well for you, that fit into all of these guidelines for me that I have put forth that I want to carry. And again, the industry still is organics. That's just the way it is. But keep in mind what that really is. Okay. It's a marketing term. Clean is another, clean skincare. Those are other terms that are coming about with it. I personally really like the holistically based because I'm all about that body, mind, spirit as well. So having products that take care of that. Um, One of the other things with the greenwashing and with the not quite so naturally derived products. Many of those are things that those ingredients are things that are found in bitumen and bitumen. I think I used to live in Australia, and I think that's more of an Australian term. Blacktop. That's what it is. Blacktop. Sorry. Blacktop is, what they put on. That's what they make roads out of, right? Bitumen is that blacktop stuff. So yeah, it comes from the earth, but that tends to not be stuff that I want on my body, nor in my body. Also things like cleaners, those hardcore like stove cleaners. They're the same ingredients, and yes, they're stripped down and cleaned up, safe for human consumption. But that also means that they're stripped out with really toxic chemicals to get them that way. Yes, again, we need some of this. I get it. I still just don't want the rashes on my hands, and I don't want to put things like that on you as well. I care about you so much that I don't want that stuff on you. And there are alternatives now. It just takes a lot of knowledge and just the little bit of a spark in, oh, yeah, there are other options for what I'm doing. So that's what I want to help bring to you is that natural, that organic, that comes from nature based without it being the hardcore chemicals to get you there. So, back to those chemical ingredients, a lot of times what they'll do, the easiest way for people to notice this physically within them is if you're putting a lotion on, those red, bumpy rash type of things that you can get on the back of your arms. Many times, not all the time, but many times, that is from the products that are in your lotion, and they make like a coating on your skin that kind of plugs up all of your pores. So that's like the first thing to kind of look at. A lot of times you'll see it in little kids like that. Throughout the years, I've had many parents asking me about how they can take care of that. So that's one kind of quick, easy thing to look at. Now, for me, I have a list of things that I like to go through when I'm looking at companies that I want to carry their product lines. Anymore, I used to have to reach out to companies all the time and do all the research. Now I have tons of them that come to me and send me products all the time to use, which is great, and I really appreciate it. Uh, but what happens now is there's just inundated with all of these products. So I have this list that I go through. Um, Limited man-made products. That's one. I want things to come from hardcore nature that are not going to are not going into the chemical based arena. Okay. So that's what I'm looking for. Ingredients that are sourced with care for the world and for humanity. I do want them really to be effective. That's another thing that I've noticed. People used to really just think that if a product was natural and organic, that it was not going to be effective, especially with skincare. Uh, that just that's a bit of a fallacy out there. They can work differently, but you do still need to be careful. It's like taking herbs and essential oils. They come from plants, and some of those things will kill you too, right? So we need to kind of have that knowledge and know what we're doing with this, right? So I do all the research to look for those companies that are effective, that are good for the world, that care for the world and humanity, limited man-made ingredients, uh, keeping those toxins off of my body and out of the internal processes of my body as well. There are just so many things with it. Hormone disruptors is just one of the first things I can think of as well with that. Um, the other thing that I really find important, and that is a big one that I know so many people don't see, and the main example I'm going to use for this because it's the easiest and the one that's the most out there right now, excuse me, is essential oils. Um, I love essential oils, and I really think that they have a huge amount of benefit. I don't believe that they need to be put on your skin direct, so they always need to be diluted. And the other huge part with it, huge, 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 and this is the reason I still source where I get all of my essential oils from, is I know that I can phone the company and ask where they source from. And the reason that is important to me is because so many companies deal with where they source everything from, and then they're dealing with warlords that cause genocide. And I'm not into being a part of anything to do with that at all. I like my plants and my ingredients to be sourced ethically. So, essential oils is one, herbs is another one, with all of just where they're sourced from. Uh, there's a whole huge moral issue with all of this as well. I do my best to stay on top of the moral aspect with it. So I don't want all of the plants to be killed when when they're sourced as well. I want that to be ethically taken care of. And if it's in the case of essential oils or any other ingredient, then I don't want to be a part of causing genocide. So I don't want to support businesses that do that as well. So that is what got me in to the rashes. It's what got me into looking at organics throughout all of the years, and 28 years, going on 29 years. So it has been a long time, and that's the pathway that I went down with it. And I really, really just, I love having you be a part of walking along this pathway with me, because I know that together we can change our world. We can then change the world of our families, and we can change the world. And that to me is what I want. That's my goal in life, and to do it in a way that supports our body, mind, and our spirit as well. And we're all just this big caring thing. And there's just a lot of other stuff going on, and I just want things to be kind and to take care of each other. So, thank you so much for being here with me. As always, if you have questions, leave them in the comments. I love that. I will get back to you. And lately, everyone has been emailing me, asking me all these questions. So, thank you for that. So much appreciated. I know that together we can change our world. And I also want to thank, if you hear music in the background, that is from Music of Wisdom, and they have given me permission to have this here. And I am so thankful to have that as well. I look forward to connecting with you soon. So much love. I will talk soon. Thanks. Bye bye.